has come and gone. We've arrived here again, Saturday morning. And what I want to talk about today is belief. The power of belief. Belief it's intrinsic to the human existence. We all believe something, whether we believe it or not. Now, what you choose to believe isn't always your choice until you make a conscious decision to grab hold and identify which beliefs are actually yours. Far too often, we allow for others' beliefs to be impressed upon us, to be collected by us. Someone else's story, someone else's agenda is believed by so many people around you that it doesn't even seem strange that you all seem to be sharing a collective dream. Where do these beliefs come from? Spending the time to identify the origin of your beliefs can be a very helpful exercise. When you spend the time to examine your own belief system, you may find that there are some dead ends. There are some trees that have no roots. There are some ideas that you have collected along the way that don't serve you. But for some reason, we believe them. We participate with them. We perpetuate them. And this can be quite scary when it's done thoughtlessly, without awareness. And when you start to examine the history and how it's erased, and people just move on and they forget. And I think this feature in particular is one of the most exploited of humanity. It's our willingness day in and day out to forget the things that people don't want you to remember. Over time. This is why the U.S. government releases classified documents, well, usually, after 75 years. Time goes on. That's okay. We can let go of this information now. Nobody cares. This is why the stories of tribes and architectural discoveries, cave drawings are destroyed so that people don't see these things and have the remembrance of some other story that doesn't fit with the narrative of traditional, conventional, Western history. Developing discernment, the ability to identify what is and what is not in your own best interest, or in the collective best interest, is a very important skill. Too often we will read something or watch something, hear something, and if it sounds good and enforces our narrative, it sticks somewhere in sort of our ecosystem of thought, and we tend to share it, repeat it. This is why stories were so powerful and still remain one of the most powerful tools that we have as a human species. But the stories that we've been told seem to be corrupted from time to time, co-opted in order to spin a specific narrative. So looking back at your own beliefs, here's an exercise. As you sit quietly, think of your own understanding of the world. Think of the food you eat on a regular basis. Think of the types of books that you read. Think of your political ideology. And pick something. Pick one concept, one memory, and hold it out among the rest. And spend some time questioning it. Ask yourself, when is the first time that I encountered this? Where have I heard this before? Does this truly serve me? Does someone else benefit from me holding this belief? Does someone make money off of me holding this belief? Who truly benefits from this belief? Am I the only person that holds this belief? Do many people share my belief? And when you ask these questions, you can start to see patterns of how many of the beliefs that we just naturally take on were imposed upon us from something and somewhere outside of us. Perhaps from our parents, perhaps from our friends, perhaps from a book we read. And when these concepts are reinforced over and over and over again, the more unnatural they tend to be. When someone needs to keep telling you, something outside of you keeps enforcing this belief. It can be problematic. We start repeating someone else's narrative, sharing someone else's story. But then when you stop and you say, okay, what do I truly believe? Where does my power come from? Where is my locus of control? What are my dreams? Where do I think we came from? Without worrying about aligning with someone else's expectations, but figuring out for yourself, where is my center? Through the examination of these different beliefs or ideas done authentically, you might discover that a lot of them are in fact not yours. And they're shared by a lot of people who also believe that those beliefs are theirs. They're not theirs either. In different places on the planet, people share different beliefs. This is the most obvious way of identifying the fact that the beliefs that you have might in fact not be yours. If you were to be born on a different continent, different country, different time, your beliefs would be different. Different technology, different environment, different family members, different governmental structure, different. And these differences are truly what make things interesting. It's what gives us the ability to compare, to analyze, to discern. But this requires the individual to take back discerning control, to be curious, to begin to be selective about the individual beliefs that they choose to carry, they choose to hold. Traveling will get you to change your beliefs. It'll get you to completely reorganize the structure of the way in which you perceive the world. You don't even need to travel the globe. Just traveling around the country, around your neighborhood, breaking free of the idea that you know how things are and the routine of everything around you, and interacting with the world while suspending what might be your belief. This is an opportunity for you to collect new information, to gain personal experience. And these personal experience building blocks are far more potent, far more powerful, far more weighty when you start building your belief off of these. But even these can't be seen as the end-all be-all. You still need to have a curious, questioning mind. Questioning your own beliefs more than questioning others' beliefs is far more powerful. Questioning your own beliefs is introspective. It's self-reflective. Questioning others' beliefs is just showing yourself to not truly have fully realized or contained faith within the ideas that you carry. And as you travel and you slowly start to open up and experience more, challenging your own beliefs will become easier and easier. Because there reaches a point where you realize that there's no truth. There's no one way everything is. There's always something new to surprise you. Always something unexpected. Always something that will exceed your expectations. And this allows you to reach a point where you no longer need to hold on to the control of the ideas that you keep in order to understand your place in the world. If you're so concerned with how you think the world operates, you end up creating a cage of your own belief structure where you miss out on opportunities to expand and to grow, to interact with the beautiful divine experience that is life. The more of these beliefs that you are able to release, let go of expectations, standards, the lighter you can be, the more relaxed you'll find yourself, the less bogged down by other people's reality. You won't be sucked in, hypnotized, attached to, because there are very few things that are actually truly worth believing in. Believing in love, hope, compassion, honesty, truth. These are powerful feelings to place your belief in. But these are usually not the things that we spend our time focusing on. If we did, the stress wouldn't mount the way it does. If we did, the fear wouldn't become all-consuming the way it does sometimes. Belief that you will find the best possible outcome from any scenario. This is not a belief that you see often perpetuated or shared by many people. It's not repeated everywhere. The belief that no matter what happens, it's a part of the divine greatest will. This is not a belief that's shared by many people. And if it is believed, is it acted upon? Is it followed through with? Is it something that you actually live by? We tend to allow our beliefs and ideals and focus and attention and awareness to get bogged down with the material, with what other people are doing, with our own little quiet inadequacies that seem to bubble up into loud voices in our head, with our own past traumas, with our desires for things that don't really serve us, don't help us to become better versions of ourselves. Challenging your beliefs, questioning your beliefs, opening up your beliefs, picking something higher to believe in. Imagine how much the world would change if everyone spent more time questioning and evaluating and discerning their own beliefs. We have wars being fought right now over land. It goes back hundreds of years. We have beliefs that there's not enough material resources on this planet for everyone. We have beliefs that this next election is going to be the one that changes the world and most important ever. We have beliefs that our sports team is going to win the championship this year. So many of these trivial beliefs that are thrown into our face and wrapped up in all of these different things that keep us so attached. But all of them are outside of us. They're somewhere else. They're over there. They're keeping us focused externally. They're keeping us entranced, mesmerized with something that's going on outside of us. This is the trick. This is the trap. This is why we have to spend more time examining our own beliefs. Now let's expand the idea of beliefs to thoughts, ideas. Examining your own thoughts to take a moment and figure out how many of them are spent on things that are outside of your control, that are outside of your best interest, that are out of alignment with the laws of nature, that are based on some scientific study that, give it time, it'll be rewritten. Ideas based on someone else's expectations. It takes a lot of effort in order to truly examine your own beliefs. But when it's done correctly, you can end up with this positive feedback loop. The same way you can get sucked into all of the negative distractions that pull you in these different directions and create these loops. There's a positive loop that can also be created. So it's just about turning this power in on itself, rather than it being out, 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 out. Make it go in, in, in. Being more present by selecting the books you want to read. Being more aware by writing down your thoughts, journaling, identifying your emotions, sitting with them, trying to figure out where they're connected to, where it's coming from. Where is this feeling connected to? What is trying to emerge through me? And then you'll start to ask more inspired questions. You'll ask the right person, who happens to be you, the right questions. And those questions will keep expanding, getting bigger, opening you up so that you don't identify with shallow, materialistic, mundane beliefs. Rather than identifying with the material part of your life, you will instead start to identify with the spiritual part of your life. Rather than identifying with the clapping monkey thoughts of your mind, you will start to align those with the highest possible perspectives to keep you in alignment with your own path, with your own trajectory. The greatest of the great were following their own heart, following their own journey, setting up their own path, examining their own understanding of the world, testing their own beliefs to try to figure out, maybe there's something better here. Maybe I'm missing something. Rather than attacking others, blaming others, giving responsibility to others. It's not my fault. I didn't do that. I didn't want this. I'm not like that. These are all the familiar sounds of someone who's not taking responsibility for their own beliefs, for the way they think the world operates. I can't stress it enough. It's in the books. It's in the books. Humanity has been writing about this, discussing this, talking about this, referring to this since the Cambrian explosion. We've been analyzing and discussing and sharing our psychology, as we use it in the Western sense, the makeup of our organism. Why are we so different from a lot of the nature that we see? Why do we spend so much time doing things that kill us? Why do we have this reflective capacity to think about ourselves? Why do we have these amazing hands that are dexterous, powerful eyes that can see, this voice that can project and tell stories, minds that can absolutely come up with anything? For what purpose? Is it to be a consumer? Is it to work? Do your part? Eat? Expel? Or was there something else that was put there for each of us? A raison d'être, a reason to be. This is why it's so important to start reflecting more deeply on your own beliefs. Letting go of things that are not serving you. Finding a way to expand your own perspective. To be more at peace. Out of all of the range of emotions that we can feel, why can't we choose to be at peace? Well, there's so many little distractions that come up. So many of these things that suck me in and pull me in different directions that I'm told are important, that I'm reminded are important. But they're all distractions. They're all there to keep you off balance and focused on something that doesn't help you figure out what's truly worth believing in, what's truly worth wanting, what is worth living for, and what is worth dying for. And all of that does not exist outside of you. It all comes from within. It comes from listening to yourself. It comes from shutting out as much of the noise as possible, finding deeper ways of removing the noise so that you can get to the signal. It's always there playing for you. It's your perfect rhythm, your perfect tune. Where things don't always go perfectly in life, but even those things are there for you to learn, to grow. That is a belief. When things go wrong, something beautiful will come of it. Life without some degree of tragedy has no character, has no growth. But remembering these deeper points of control that no one can take away from you, that you don't need validated outside of you, that help you navigate and continue to grow and perpetuate the most beautiful things in life. These are why beliefs are so important. Having the right beliefs for you, and then always improving upon them. Finding what doesn't serve you any longer. Thank you, you got me to this point. This is where we separate. The power of your belief, well, it's definitely beyond your belief at this particular moment. There's so much more in there. I got this guy staring at me. You look familiar? You see that? Maybe. Babaji. Nem Karori, both. Nem Karori Baba. This man had belief. Belief and devotion in God. Powerful stories have been shared about him. Did you look him up online? I've talked about him a bit. Ram Das, this was his guru. And the stories you'll hear about him, they defy belief. But that's only because we're surrounded by people who haven't shared that experience. But if you spend time around people that have seen those things, it creates a little bit of a vibratory exchange where it makes you more inclined to sort of hold that state of belief. I had the pleasure of visiting his temple, where thousands of people go every single day to pray, do kirtan. I got to speak to some of the people in the village near him, and they would tell me stories about this man and what he believed. And it blew my mind. It gave me a new rung to aspire to. Something that was outside of my current belief set. It expanded my thinking. And I lost my internet. What happened? Oh, well, I got lost for a second. So I'll end with this. Examining your own beliefs and finding which ones are limiting you is a powerful practice that will help you in your spiritual expansion. Being self-reflective, open, and taking the time to find a higher, more open, more loving, more compassionate, more divine belief is a great way to get you started, to get that momentum flowing, so that you can realize who you are, what your purpose is, what will make you happy, what you came here to do. That's it for this week. That's all we got. Thank you for listening. Yeah, see you next week. Hey, you ready? Oh, of course. Good job. Sit. Good girl. So good. So good. Thank you so much for your patience. Okay, bye now.